Florida, Texas, and the lower Mississippi valleys, parts of the desert southwest. Freezing highs will be all over places like the Sierra Nevadas to the Cascades, Northern Rockies. Yet mild temperatures, above average temperatures, would be a thing throughout the Mississippi Valley and the Ohio Valley too, and the southeast. And finally, for Tuesday morning, where the warm lows are in the southern tip of Florida, southern tip of Texas, above average temperatures throughout the Ozarks. Freezing lows be all over the Cascades, the Sierra Nevadas, Northern Rockies, Bitterroot Mountains, and North Dakota, and northwestern Minnesota. Warmer than average temperatures would move into, would still be there throughout Illinois and Indiana, but really there's going to be plenty of cold air moving into the northern plains and into the central plains too. Let's talk about dew point. Dew point. Lots of humidity all over the East Coast, but just anywhere south of Connecticut and parts of the Gulf. Plenty dealing with some humidity here and there, and a lot of humidity that's still left over throughout the Great Plains, and a lot of humidity that's going to plague throughout the desert southwest as a result of the remnants of Priscilla. This is for tonight, folks. For tomorrow morning, plenty of humidity all over the East Coast, just only south of New York, parts of the Gulf Coast, and still some humidity located throughout the northern half of the Great Plains. A lot of humidity here and there throughout the desert southwest. Tomorrow night, you have plenty of humidity lingering throughout places like Boston all the way to Miami, parts of the the Gulf Coast, and as well as parts of the desert southwest all the way to Minnesota. Cold front moves in, dry air also moves in as well. Monday morning, plenty of humidity throughout Florida, all the way up to New York City, parts of the Gulf Coast, still dealing with humidity, and as well as so much of Texas, all the way to Iowa and Missouri. Cold front advances, and there's still humidity in the desert southwest. Monday night, humidity is all over places like Florida, all the way to the coastal parts of the Northeast, but not in New England though. Parts of the Gulf Coast, we get plenty of humidity, and as well as excessive humidity levels, a lot of humidity, I should say, throughout the southern plains, all the way to the mid-Mississippi Valley, and parts of the desert southwest. Still plenty of humidity to deal with, and a growing amount of humidity throughout parts of the coastal part of Southern California. And finally, Tuesday morning, there's plenty of humidity in South Florida, all the way to the immediate coastal parts of the mid-Atlantic, and a lot of humidity in Texas, center part of the country, and waning levels of humidity in the desert southwest, but still, that's still there throughout the southern half of Arizona and New Mexico. Now let's talk about convection. There's a lot of convection in the southern part of Florida, and a good amount of convection throughout Arizona and parts of the Great Basin, Rockies, Wyoming, and southeastern Montana. For tomorrow morning, where's convection? Convection's only located in the Florida Keys in Arizona. Tomorrow night, convection is all over South Florida, desert Southwest. If I say humidity, I deeply apologize. I meant convection. Monday morning, plenty of convection throughout the southern tip of Florida, and a tiny bit of convection levels. It's there throughout much of the East Coast as a result of the nor'easter. A lot of convection are in parts of the desert Southwest. Monday night, lots of convection, only concentrated in the southern tip of Florida, a little bit in the desert Southwest, and a tiny bit in northern and western California. And finally, Tuesday morning, plenty of convection in the Florida Keys and Miami, a tiny bit in New Mexico, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Now let's talk about radar reflectivity. So let's see if there's any storms that are going on for tonight. For tonight, there is going to be a lot of storms all over the East Coast, from Florida all the way to New England and upstate New York. More storms in the desert Southwest, virtually much of the interior parts of the West, like Utah, eastern Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming, the Northern Rockies, the Pacific Northwest. California's mostly dry, though. And let's not forget about the northern plains like the Dakotas and Minnesota. Plenty of storms. Tomorrow morning, storms. There will be a lot of storms all across the mid-Atlantic and in the coastal parts of the Northeast. Some pop-up storms throughout Florida, and a lot of storms all over Minnesota and the Dakotas, and as well as in the Northern Rockies, Montana. The desert Southwest will get some storms here and there, and in the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest will get some wet weather as well. For tomorrow night, storms will linger throughout the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic. Some still left over, and especially Florida. Desert Southwest still left over moisture, bringing in a good amount of storms throughout the desert Southwest. And more storms throughout the upper Mississippi Valley, and as well as more wet weather throughout the northwestern part of the country. As for Monday morning, we do have a good amount of storms to deal with as a result of the nor'easter, and a cold front moving in from places like the desert Southwest all the way to the Great Lakes. A lot of storms will be in the Great Lakes region and the desert Southwest, western Texas, and a lot of wet weather to deal with in the northwestern part of the country, from Northern California to Washington, all the way to the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho. Monday night, still leftover storms from that nor'easter to deal with, worst of which will be in New England and upstate New York. Plenty of pop-up storms in parts of the southeast, a lot of storms. Strong ones will be in the desert Southwest to the Great Plains, the center part of the country, and California, all the way to Oregon, and a few some wet weather. That's going to be in Idaho and the leeward side of the Cascades, and all the way to Montana and Nevada. Finally, where are the storms and wet weather? Plenty of storms all over California and the Pacific Northwest, parts of the Northern Rockies. The Great Plains getting a lot of storms all the way to the upper to mid-Mississippi Valley, and still lingering storms, wet weather throughout the Northeast and parts of Florida too. Let's take a look at the potential accumulation for snowfall. Well, there's no snow east of the Mississippi, and not even the Great Plains, except for northwestern North Dakota. It's up to 6 inches of snow in northwestern corner of North Dakota. In Montana, oh boy, just about a lot of snow. That's going to be up in the mountains, though. Some places could range to about 2 to 6 feet of snow in many places. That's a variable amounts of snow depending on the elevation and the location and the amount of snow that's going to happen in any particular area. Idaho could get as much as up to 5 feet, about 4 feet of snow in the northern part. And you go down to about a foot and a half to about a full foot. Utah, it could be as high as a foot to a foot and a half in some places, especially east of Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, they're going to get some snow. In northwestern Colorado, they could get as much as about 6 to 8 to 10 inches of snow. In the Sierra Nevadas, they could get as much as about to a foot and a half to maybe close to 2 feet of snow. In the Cascades, about 2 to 3 feet, but then you go up to Washington State, could be as much as 4 feet, or even worse, 5 to locally heavier amounts to about 6 feet of snow. Olympic National Park, up to a foot of snow. It's quite a lot of snow, folks, for folks in the Pacific Northwest. Some may be in the form of freezing rain and sleet. But time will tell, right, folks? Alright, so we've reached the end of the national weather discussion. We will do the weather topic of the day right now. So let's get to it. Now, what's the weather topic of the day? Okay, so the weather topic of the day, let me just pull something up. Okay, let me switch to here. The weather topic of the day is why aren't some nor'easters considered tropical systems? The answer to that question, folks, is... Let me just check the mic on my end. Okay, I can hear myself. Nor'easters are not considered tropical systems because they are extratropical cyclones that get their energy from the temperature difference between cold northern air and warmer ocean waters, while tropical systems, like hurricanes, are warm core systems that thrive in warm, moist tropical environments. Nor'easters have strong temperature gradients and develop warm and cold fronts, while tropical systems are powered by the release of latent heat from warm ocean water and lack fronts. Alright, folks, I've answered those questions about why nor'easters aren't considered tropical systems. Alright, now I will be back at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Kingdom Hearts 2, so we don't need to do the national weather discussion in the first half of the stream. It'll be 2 hours full of Kingdom Hearts 2. But until then, I must go eat my lunch and just chill for a while. But until then, thank you guys for watching. We will be back to do Kingdom Hearts 2. Feel free to hit me with a follow and turn on the notifications so that you guys will know when I'll be streaming the next time. But I hope to be back at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Kingdom Hearts 2. But until then, love y'all. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe out there for those of you anywhere, actually. And do protect yourselves and others. But until then, peace out, everybody. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. See you later. Signing out.